Alright, I'll do a quick run through. Don't mind the numbers. I mean, these are just numbers that I threw down for examples. So finding your first property, finding the property is the hardest deal. The way I've found most of my properties lately have been off market. I found them driving for dollars, and I contacted direct owner through mail, and owner contacted me back saying yes, I'd like to sell. There's on the market, it's tough to find good property on Facebook. You will find them every now and then, but the market is crazy hot right now. But once you find you a good property, the numbers make sense. Obviously, you go to the next, you clean up the property. I mean, numbers have to make sense. You put too much in the property, it's going to be hard to get it back out. Real estate is a numbers game. It's a math problem at the end of the day. Now, don't freak out about this next step, because you're not going to hold on to this note. Once you get the property cleaned up, you then take the property once it's ready to launch. Stick it on Facebook, whatever, owner financing. I've got attorneys and everything to line this out. You're not going to hold on to this note. This note's just an asset that you're creating for the end buyer. But it makes it 10 times riskier. I mean, it's going to sit on the market. Oh man, it'll sell so fast. $2,000 down, $45,000 purchase price. At a 7% rate, 8-year loan, making the monthly payment $613. Somebody's going to swoop that up really quick. Doing raw land, it's tough, because I mean, it's more people, they're looking for a structure. If you find something like with a small mobile home, junky mobile home, it doesn't have to be perfectly livable, man, but that mobile home is going to make a big difference. Some kind of structure on that property. Raw land is harder to sell. And all right, next, let's say you find that buyer. You want to check credit. You have to check credit. You cannot get lazy with this and just go with the first person that comes in, because it will screw your next deal. You're going to be selling that note to a note buyer for less than what it's worth. For example, note's worth, I mean, it'll be around $50,000 after interest and everything. But you want to sell that note. This is how I did my last note. It was $45,000 principal. I posted it for $35,000, and all my notes, when I post them, they sell within 24 hours. I find a buyer. I've already got buyers lined out. I mean, guys that want notes like crazy. You just have to know where to look and know the right people. So find that note buyer. You have to have your shit in order to get that note buyer. If you throw any kind of buyer in that property that is not worthy of paying those payments, that note buyer will be very turned off. You have to have it all structured properly. A deed of trust, promissory note. This is it right here. You have to go to the closing table. You have to get an attorney to do this. Buyer pays for all the attorney fees. It's very, very easy. So they sign the promissory note. If you don't have this stuff, you will have a worthless asset that will not sell. Promissory note, deed of trust. I mean, that's what you structure it exactly like a bank. You are the bank. And as long as you have a buyer that's worthy, they don't have to have perfect credit, but they can't have a bunch of foreclosures, bullshit like that. Buyer needs to get insurance. I mean, that'll all be in the promissory note writing, everything. Attorney does all the work for you when it comes to that. It's very easy. Alright, I mean, it's a very creative way. A lot of people are scared to do it because they, oh my god, owner financing, I don't want to wait to get that money. You know, you don't have to. As long as you buy the property right, don't put too much in the property, find a good buyer, you will have an asset that is worth selling. And I mean, it's $10,000. That last property, I bought it for $10,500. I put $5,000 into it, and I sold it for these exact numbers right here on owner financing. Then I turned around and I sold it to a note buyer as soon as I got that structured. You have to wait 2 payments before that note buyer becomes interested. They want to see that that buyer is going to be worthy of paying. After that second payment, I signed contract on the 13th, Here, I can show you right here. This is the note that I just now sold. So I'm in the closing process right now. $35,000. I never meet the note buyer, ever. I mean, this guy, he's going to continue doing business with me because I deliver him good notes, good assets. You know, this is the stage I'm at right now. I'm about to ship him all the stuff, all the promissory note, the original stuff, and money will be distributed to my account. It'll be wired. I never have to see the guy. I mean, it's so freaking easy once it gets to this point. And I mean, it's the least riskiest way if you're going to use your own cash. I mean, you don't have to sit on that property forever trying to wait for a buyer to come around to get that $45,000 cash or $35,000 cash. And because honestly, a bank, they do not like investing. Like if somebody was trying to get that $35,000 note from the bank or $45,000 note from the bank, the bank's not going to like it. Banks don't like raw land, and that's the same reason it's good to go with something that has a structure like a mobile home. Even mobile homes are kind of tricky. Banks don't like investing in mobile homes because I mean, a lot of them are junky, but this is where somebody like me and you can step in and create that value. You know, we can be that bank for them, and we don't have to hold on to that note, sit there and wait for the payments. And it works really good, and it's very, there's hardly any risk to it at all. You just got to factor all of your stuff, man. Cross your T's and dot your I's, man. It's easy. Have a good team. The place that I sell all my notes on, you can't post your note to Facebook. It's illegal. You can't post. I mean, before I found paperstac, I was trying to sell on Craigslist, all this bullshit, and then finally I finally found this on Google, man. It's every single note that I've put on here for sale has sold in less than 24 hours. And it's really awesome. And I mean, closing takes a good process. I mean, this one's actually going a lot faster, but once it hits the auditor, it'll stay in that for a couple days. That way they can see that my mortgage note is legit, that it was filed properly, and it'll all clear. It's good shit, man.